The world is changing. Business is transforming. At the center of this evolution is arguably the largest opportunity in IT history. The hybrid cloud makes it possible to respond to rapidly changing business environments and innovate faster. And we must move with speed and scale to capture these new opportunities. Of course, data fuels the cloud and all of the new innovations that the cloud can unleash. But across these new environments, moving and accessing data is a challenge. Every cloud platform has a different way to manage your data. We need a more seamless way to manage, move, share, and protect data on premises or off. To make it available wherever and whenever it's needed. The world needs data fabric to integrate these different data environments with a common, cohesive approach. Fabrics make systems work. And in the NetApp vision for Data Fabric, your data can flow where and when it's needed. With a common data format to bring your applications to the cloud or take them from one platform to another. And a common set of tools so you can seamlessly move data from one cloud to another. And an architecture that allows you to evolve your IT environments to take advantage of the opportunities offered by the cloud. So your data is ready for anything, giving you the freedom to make the best decisions for your business. The mobility to move and access your data wherever and whenever, and the speed to innovate faster.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Senior Vice President and General Manager, EMEA NetApp, Manfred Reitner.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Insight 2015 here in Berlin. Last year was the first year where we have decided, beside our own people and our partners, bringing customers to this event. And I can tell you, I got so much good feedback about this, so that's the reason that we have expanded the crowd today, and we have nearly doubled the amount of customers we have here today. So it's a great effort. Thank you very much. We have customers from around 62 countries here. So for my American friends, this is global. But I have also to tell you, I have two hearts in my chest this time. One heart is really about this terrific event, everything we can achieve, bringing all you guys together. And the second one is really focusing on what happened last Friday, where I have to say I'm personally a little bit struggling about this, because I think our heart is with our friends, with the people in Paris, with the people in France, and with our colleagues in France. I can tell you, we are united with you in solidarity, and the only short words I can in French is Je suis Paris. One of my favorite songs of Queen is telling me there's now the time that the show must go on. So let's talk a little bit about what we try to accomplish in this couple of days, in this week. I have to tell you, for me personally, this is the technical event focused on bringing technical subject matter experts together to learn together, to share experiences together, and especially to expand your knowledge. NetApp is always focused to create custom outcomes. I have to say, understanding what is a customer trying to accomplish, and together with them to achieve customer success is really what we are going for. And I believe that together with our partner ecosystem, we are able to make Data Fabric real. These kind of events, and if you look around, this is really a big event, wouldn't be possible without the people in the back who are doing all the organization. But on the other hand, also with our partner ecosystem who are sponsoring this event. And I like to mention only 3 of them. It's Cisco, Fujitsu, and VMware who helped us to get this event together. So thank you very much to our partners. But on the other hand, I think NetApp is part of a big community. And I think with these external circumstances we see in a moment outside, Friday is one example for it, I think we are also feeling responsible to give something back to the outside. So I think there is no better time than this insight to do something for it and to bring some money back to the community. So I can announce that NetApp will donate $1 to the Red Cross for every hashtag NetApp and insight you send out. So I can tell you, start immediately. So you can start now. Go ahead, get tweets out and spend some money for us. But now let's stop talking. Let's start the show. Let's start the event. So it's a big pleasure for me, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome on stage a good friend of mine and the president of NetApp, Rob Salmon.
Thanks, Manny.
Hey, Robert.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Manny. Welcome. Let me also send my condolences, thoughts, and prayers to the people of Paris and France. As Manny touched on, that is an absolutely tragic event, a senseless, tragic event. But no doubt in my mind, the people of Paris are doing the right thing, saying it's not going to stop them, and it's damn sure not going to stop us. We're going to have a great week. So let's plan on it. You know, what Insight does is brings together what I think is the very best of NetApp. And I've always said there's really 3 ingredients. I've been here for 22 years. And when customers, when we're at our finest, they tell me it's just different doing business with NetApp. And I've always thought that was a combination of innovation. We're going to talk a lot about innovation this week. We're going to talk about what we're doing right now. We have partners and customers going to talk about it. We're going to tease you a little bit about how we see the future. Show you a couple of demos around that. So there's innovation. Then Manfred touched on it, partnerships. It's always been the case that partnerships matter, and they matter a lot to NetApp. Key to how we think about the business. Customers don't buy NetApp solutions. They buy solutions to their challenges and opportunities. And that always encompasses a few of us working really well together. I'm absolutely thrilled about the partners that we have. Innovation, partnerships, and finally, culture. Culture matters. Just recently, we were given some accolades. We ranked number 4 in the world in multinational great places to work. And I'm incredibly proud of our teams, because that's not about headquarters. That's about the countries in which our teams live and work. But more important to me than great place to work is being a great company to be associated with. Because that encompasses our customers, our partners, our families, the neighborhoods in which we live. It's those 3 ingredients that I think are so special to NetApp, but it's also those 3 ingredients that what Insight's always been about, from the earliest days of it, when Roger Anderson decided to put this event on. Bringing great technical minds together to figure out how we can make a difference in our customers' lives each and every day. That's what we're going to work on this week, and we're thrilled to have you here, whether a customer, a partner, or a NetApp employee. There's a lot going on in this industry right now, and no doubt there's big change. You read the same papers I do. Lots of things happening in the IT vendor community right now. But more important than that is this notion of the digital era. I believe that is changing everything. How we think about how we can handle healthcare around the world, education, services that can be created and, more importantly, delivered to people that need them. Just recently, Prime Minister Modi of India was in the United States, the first Prime Minister of India to visit Silicon Valley. I happened to attend the dinner where he talked about Digital India and what they're trying to accomplish. Last week he was in the UK doing the same talk. But if you do a search, you'll find there's a Digital Germany theme as well, and how different verticals are looking at it. And when you think about the digital era, from consumers to corporations to countries, we are all thinking about how does it impact us and what we can gain from it. But no doubt, every aspect of it is powered by data. To talk more about that, let me introduce a video to you by our CEO, Joerg Kurian. Please roll the video.
Hello to all of you. Welcome to Insight. It's an incredibly exciting and dynamic time to be in IT. I feel it, and I'm sure you do too in your role. Whether you're in IT figuring out how to help your business achieve its objectives, or whether you're part of the tech teams working to understand your customers' challenges and opportunities so that you can bring the right solutions. In my role as CEO of NetApp, I've been traveling around the world meeting with customers, our partners, and employees, and a few things are clear to me. First, every business leader is talking about the digital future. Businesses are transforming themselves using pervasive technology, mobile phones, wireless broadband networks, pervasive computing, scalable storage, and digital services are being created to transform the customer experience. Second, what's incredibly exciting for you and for NetApp is that data is the foundation for all this transformation. Data is being used to improve the customer experience, accelerate business performance, and all of you at Insight have an important role to play. Third, the thing that I enjoy the most about what I do is hearing customer stories about how NetApp technology and teams are helping to deliver great business outcomes. Our innovation is being leveraged in powerful ways by people in this audience and around the world. We're helping customers achieve the results critical to your business, accelerating time to market by speeding software development, helping integrate acquisitions faster, reducing the cost of data centers, and making real-time analytics a business differentiator. Finally, our engineering teams have been working on breakthrough ideas like the NetApp Data Fabric. It helps you build a seamless hybrid cloud architecture so that you can efficiently deliver new capabilities to the business while maintaining control of your data. You have a huge role to play to help your company and customers navigate this changing IT landscape, and NetApp looks forward to being part of it. Take full advantage of Insight to learn what your peers are doing, how they're solving problems and delivering business value, and discover more about the innovative data management solutions we're working on so you can solve today and tomorrow's challenges. Enjoy Insight, and thank you for coming.
So you look at George and what he was talking about, yeah. I would tell you, he's been in the role for 6 months now. He's been at NetApp for 4.5 years running product operations and was promoted 6 months ago. And in NetApp, there's a bounce in people's step. The data fabric vision is really playing out, but it's not about the vision. It's the 1-2 punch. It's the vision and what you can do right now. George is really focused, spent a lot of time on the road talking with customers, partners, and our employees about how to make that data fabric vision come to life, and you'll see a lot of that this week. As I've already said, and George said on the video, the industry is in flux, and there's a lot of change going on. And that creates opportunity. It creates opportunity for our partners, for customers, and for NetApp. But those opportunities are always based on making sure that we provide great customer outcomes. When I think about where we are today in terms of those outcomes, some things haven't really changed. It is about business imperatives. And the business imperatives really haven't changed at all. It is about driving growth, having a competitive advantage. It's about speed and how we're defining speed differently. Think about it. If you're as old as I am, speed in a bank, getting money used to be, let me find the teller line that was the smallest line. And then it was, let me just find an ATM. And now it's, I'm just going to use my phone to get cash or pay people. The banks come to me. And that's the expectation of speed. It's changed dramatically, and it's disruptive how we think about it. But there's also cost and risk. We have to take all of those things into account as we think about the business imperatives. Again, there's new ways to create and drive these priorities, but again, data is at the heart of the transformation. And IT has a more strategic role than ever before to play to make it happen. Yet for IT, things are changing as well. And for our customers out there, I'm sure you're already thinking about this. The business processes that you drive. Organizational structures. We've heard a lot about chief digital officers. We've been hearing about data scientists for a while now. And then the notion of consumption models. They're changing dramatically, and they should. In fact, I would argue consumption models will change as much as technical innovation in the next 5 years, and we're seeing that play out right now. As we think about software development, and instead of buying infrastructure to do it, knowing that that's available to you right now if you want it to be, if you're a startup, you don't even think about the infrastructure. You just start developing. Everything's going to change. And there are some big themes, and we're going to talk a lot about those. What's going on with Flash? Converged infrastructure, software defined. But the biggest and most disruptive of all is hybrid IT. The digital transformation requires it, and there's no debate, hybrid IT will be the dominant architecture today and certainly going into the future. And I would submit to you, leading edge, the leading IT organizations that I talk to around the globe, they're not adopting hybrid IT. They're embracing it and they're running to it as fast as they can. And that is happening right now. Yet with all that said, not all hybrid IT is created equal. And that's where we come to data fabric and our data fabric vision. You know, this reminds me about 10, maybe 10, 15 years ago of the private cloud discussion. So if you were in the industry, you know what we were trying to accomplish. You go out and talk to customers, and they'd have disparate islands of infrastructure that they were not cost effective, they didn't scale, and their customers were complaining constantly about the quality of service and time to provision. And then we introduced private cloud. And those same customers said, now I'm getting the efficiency I need. Now I can scale. And the quality of service is so much better. And in that case, I'd submit again, not all private clouds were created equal. And this is an area where NetApp has led and dominated. And that's the reason why, as we move into this hybrid IT discussion, why I believe NetApp will dominate again. You see, it's not about moving into hybrid IT, and it's not about a cloud. It's about all the clouds that you choose to participate in. And the biggest challenge isn't getting to a cloud. It's moving the data around. It's not about being in one particular for all your workloads. It's about choosing where you want different workloads into different clouds. You know, for years I've heard about this, just give it to me, I'll handle your mess for less. Let's be clear, it is your mess. And as hybrid IT continues to mature, what you're going to find is not all hybrid IT solutions give you a roadmap to a good place. And that is the reason we are so focused on data mobility and allowing customers to choose when, how, and how to change if I ever choose to change. Tomorrow, you're going to hear Joel Reich, our Executive Vice President of Product Operations, go into a lot more depth on what we're doing in hybrid IT and certainly the data fabric vision. And you'll hear that theme throughout the week. But as we do it, I think it's important to make it real. I think it's important to have a customer and a partner talk about what they see that we're up to here. You know, this isn't about PowerPoint discussions. This is about what's happening right now. Here in Germany, we have a partner and a customer that were awarded 2015's Computer Week Cloud Solution of the Year Award for the work they've done together. And I'd like to bring them up on stage with me right now. So let me introduce Holger Kärcher, founder and CEO of Helpium, and Lars Göbel, Director of Sales and IT Services at DARZ. Holger, Lars. Hi, Lars. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Pleasure.
Holger, good to see you. Thank you. Okay, Holger, we spent some time at dinner last night. I'm thrilled to have you guys here. They were with us in Las Vegas at Insight there as well. This is a fun story. We all know about it. Holger, why don't you tell me a little bit about Helpium, your business, and what you were trying to accomplish?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Holger, CEO and founder of Helpium. We are providing an online marketplace for IT support, which connects users with IT experts. The support will be done remotely based on a pay-per-use model, on demand just then when you need it. We've been on a growing path and our infrastructure couldn't fulfill our requirements anymore. So we explored the market, what to do. We were thinking about an own infrastructure, private cloud, hosting, and we saw the public cloud. And we wanted to use the public cloud because of the flexibility and scalability. But we had concerns because of the data security and the vendor lock-in. That means we didn't want to bring all the data to one public cloud provider because we don't know who has access to it, we don't know where it is stored, and it's difficult to bring it up to another public cloud provider. So we really wanted to use it because it was needed for our business, but we couldn't because of these concerns, because trust building is the key to our customers, and user-sensitive data is one part of the trust. So we met DARZ, luckily, who provided us such a solution, who fulfills all these requirements.
That's great, Holger. All right, Lars, tell us a little bit about DARZ and the solution you provided to Holger and his company. I'll go ahead and give you the clicker.
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, DARZ is a digital evolution provider acting like a full IT service provider with their own high security data center. We are located in Darmstadt near Frankfurt in the old vault bank of Hesse, where the gold reserves were stored. So 2-meter thick walls, electromagnetic shielded, bulletproof windows, atomic shelter underneath. So it's a really high security facility. And we are connected to Frankfurt redundantly cross-free and also to Munich. And we basically offer everything from the base co-location to over private cloud infrastructure as a service, to public cloud and hybrid cloud solutions. And our focus is quality, security, and flexibility. We have realized the flexibility for our customers to a really modular product portfolio, which enables the customer to combine the different parts of our portfolio to one big solution. And when we were looking at the public cloud, we have seen the problem of data migration and data security and some other problems of like enterprise storage feature set, but we found the NetApp Data Fabric vision, and we were thinking about it, and we realized it. So in our model, the next generation of hybrid cloud, it's possible to combine the different parts because the data is no longer stored in the public cloud. It's stored in our high security facility or in a partner data center in Frankfurt via low latency connection. And the data is there. It doesn't matter if you use it in your own infrastructure, co-location or private cloud or public cloud, you just can use it. So no data migration anymore because the data is there where you need it and where you can use it. And that's not all. You can really combine from now on and make a multi-cloud sourcing. This not only means combining co-location, private cloud and public cloud. This means combining also different hyperscaler public cloud providers, for example, AWS and SoftLayer, to one solution, integrated in the rest of your business.
Thank you very much. That was great. We've talked a lot about how you're using Data Fabric, not the vision, you're actually making it play out. But I want to come back to business for a moment. So Holger, this all sounds great, but what did it do for you from a business standpoint?
Yeah, the best benefit for us is we don't have to worry about where the data is stored. We can just focus on our business. Data is always accessible. It's always there where we need it. So we can just focus on that, what we have to do for our business, and continue to grow.
That's fantastic. All right, so it worked for Holger and Helpium. What about other opportunities? What do you see, Lars?
So this product is really interesting, not only for startups which have interests in combining the different hyperscalers, like Helpium is doing it with AWS and SoftLayer. It's also interesting for medium-sized or enterprise companies. For example, Gartner has defined the B-model IT. Yeah. Where the problem is you have a traditional IT and an agile IT, and you want to combine them, but they are fully separated. You have two divisions, you have two infrastructures, the data is you have to migrate the data in between. And with our solution, we fixed that because we combine the traditional IT with agile IT to one big solution for the infrastructure as a service part. And so we solved this issue.
That's fantastic. Final comments or question for you. What other message do you want to give the audience here today, Lars? You've spent a lot of time with us recently. We really appreciate it. Final comments?
Yeah, so this solution is available through customers in a pay-as-you-go model like cloud is, and also to partners who want to resell it, like we already have two of them, SVA and Cisco, and we appreciate to find more of them because this is really the next generation of hybrid cloud, and hybrid cloud is a new normal, and with Data Fabric, it's real.
That's great. Well, I want to thank Holger and Lars, and in fact, we're really excited about what they've talked about up on stage. As I said, they were with us in Las Vegas. If you want to learn more about the story, there's really two ways to do it, and I'd encourage you to do it. They are in Insight Central at booth B19. In fact, they have a demo running. I was down there early and took a look at it. And also at NetApp, we do something called Epic Stories. They're stories that are broad enough and important enough and relevant enough that we make these epic stories, and we only do a handful a year, and we send them out to our entire field, and we talk about them for quite a while. I'm pleased to announce The latest epic story is this story right here, and it'll be available on your mobile app this evening. So Holger, DARZ, thank you for your partnership. Thank you for joining us here today. Have a great week with us. Thanks, Lars. Holger. You know, for me, it's a lot of fun when we're actually able to talk about what we do, but it's even more exciting, and you guys get it, when it is a customer or a partner. But ultimately, it is about making the data fabric vision real, because I believe it is a differentiated and unique approach. In fact, I'm hearing that more and more from industry analysts I talk to, customers and partners. And again, you're going to hear a lot more about it over the course of this week, not just from NetApp, from customers and partners as well. But ultimately, it also has to translate into results. And when I think about where we are with the portfolio today, I'm really excited about some of the results we're seeing. As we look at where we are with CDOT, pretty big growth rate from last year. We told you we had some exciting things coming out. They're out. And we're seeing a big growth trajectory around it. E-Series. We have done really well with E-Series this year, and we're building on that momentum. And then FlexPod. About 6 weeks ago, we did a press release on the 5-year anniversary of FlexPod, a joint partnership between Cisco and NetApp. Look at the numbers over the 5 years. They are really exciting. In fact, this week, myself and some members of my staff will take a trip over to the Center of Excellence for the Internet of Things that Cisco has just opened up here 2 weeks ago in Berlin. We're doing a lot of work with our partner Cisco, and we'll continue to build on the 5 years of FlexPod momentum and the broader partnership that we have together, certainly going forward. And then this discussion around Flash. That's a big discussion, a really big discussion. You know, we introduced all-flash FAS not that long ago. New packaging, it has really done well. Look at the numbers. But there were teams around the world, and very specifically here in Germany, that before we introduced it said, we're onto something. You look at the combination of our hardware and what we can do in a flash environment, and it's going to make a big impact. That's what I like about our technical team. They are looking to solve customer problems. And sometimes those problems are not about driving more revenue. Sometimes they're more important than that. Let's go ahead and roll this next video.
No plane in Germany can take off without a weather briefing provided by us. In rescue situations, especially for search and rescue pilots, lives could be on the line. The Deutsche Wetterdienst is the National Weather Service of Germany. We have to issue warnings on weather situations that become a danger to the population in Germany. So it's disaster management, it's shipping, it's aviation.
The forecasters need the data now. Nobody is interested in the weather forecast of yesterday.
Our forecasters have an enormous amount of data they are faced with today. So performance is essential for our operations.
We take in data from more than 2,000 measuring stations, numerous meteorological satellites, a network of 17 weather radars, and a number of international data sources.
We need to merge this information so that a forecaster is able to create a forecast from that.
Our application uses this data to create visualizations of meteorological situations in real time for our forecasters.
It was actually too slow for operations. A forecast for a search and rescue pilot would take about 15 seconds. And if you have a pilot on the phone, that's definitely too long. After implementing the NetApp solution, we saw an enormous increase in speed. We really got what we wanted. We really arrived at the 1 second response time, even less.
With all flash fast, we saw a latency of less than 1 millisecond. This reduced application response time from 15 seconds to 1 second.
Everything worked flawlessly, and we were able to provide features that were requested for a long, long time. We have a very, very important role as a meteorological service. We are really proud of providing all the information to our customer that they need, especially in the area of warnings, because this is what we are here for.
I have enormous admiration for people around the world that put themselves in harm's way to save and help others. And if you've ever been in a situation where you, a family member, a friend, relative, have ever needed that, you realize it is about seconds, not minutes or hours. And when you're forecasting the weather, you're never, ever done. But it does matter. It's been fun having a partner and a customer up here, and I'm just excited to have 2 members of our technical team come up and talk about their experience with the story about DWD. Joerg and Jay, why don't you join me out here on stage? Hi, Jay. Hi, Rob. Hi, Joerg. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so Jay, you've known the customer for an awful long time. Can you give me a few details about him? Please tell the audience.
Yes, sure, Rob. So I'm Jay. I'm running the systems engineering team in Frankfurt, Germany. So I started at NetApp almost 9 years ago, and Deutscher Wetterdienst was one of my first customers. So I'm closely engaged with them since then. So if you think about weather forecasts, you think that this might be a boring topic, but imagine there is an accident on the German highway. Rob, you know, we drive very fast on the highway.
Yeah, I stay in the slow lane.
Yeah, and there are people injured, and a rescue helicopter needs to fly out to rescue those people. Then this pilot of this helicopter needs urgently a weather emergency forecast to reach these people. And if that takes too long, or if that is inaccurate, then some people might lose their lives. So there you see the impact what a weather forecast has. And to do the weather forecast, they have their own application. It's called Ninio. So it's like Google Earth for weather scientists. So you have seen it in the video. This weather scientists sitting on their desks, staring on weird things on their 6 screens. That's Ninio. And the whole Ninio application runs on FAS with SSDs on all flash FAS.
So Joerg, why all flash FAS? Why'd they choose this solution?
Yeah, thanks. The weather forecast is always different because the application has to manage always different data. So the first thing was that that flash cache and caching was not able to do. The second one is that the application needs multi-protocol support. This means that NFS, CIFS, iSCSI, and fiber channel is needed. And the third one, the important thing that the application needed is consistent low latency. The DWD has all of our fast features, and they like them all. Especially for example, all 160 NetApp fast controllers have no tape backup anymore. Everything is based on Snap Vault. To meet these requirements, no caching, multi-protocol support, and low latency, the only possible solution was fast with SSD only.
That's great. And what is the specific solution?
Yeah, the solution is we have, currently we have 40 NetApp controllers with 3,600 SSDs behind. It's one of the largest SSD fast implementations worldwide. And when we talk about flash, we always talk about we're out of the SSD drive. This means we have 4 years of experience with all flash and fast, and the amount of weather data and the heavy writes, the weather data is coming from satellites and sensors every day. So since 4 years, we have now no single SSD failure due to wear out. No single failure. With the counters out of the SSD drives, we could calculate a projected lifetime for 8 years for each SSD. So this is coming back to our engineering. And the DVD also uses all of our on-tap features for 8.3, especially for inline compression. Even through the complex weather data the DVD has, we see a reduction of 20% with inline compression on the capacity. That's enormous for the compression factor, and sorry, and with new satellites, with much higher resolutions and with much bigger data they have to store on the system, it's very important for the DVD to reduce the storage footprint. So we have the DVD, DWD is now able to fulfill the capacity and the performance requirements for the NINU application we saw.
So it's a great story. Just a quick history lesson so you understand the significance before I ask Jay this next question. In the 90s, our team in Germany said, we must have cluster failover. And product ops said, if they want it, we better do this. Then in the late 90s, they said, we have to support database. And product ops said, well, the German team says we need this, I bet we need this. Now, Jay, how did you and the team come up with this solution, and how long ago was it?
Yes, so it was back in 2011, so 4 years ago, and you heard the requirements, so we needed low latency performance, but with the full feature set, like multi-protocol access, snapshot-based replication, and so on and so on. So if you look back at that time, there were just a few all-flash players. They only had block protocol stuff. They had limited feature set. And we as NetApp, we were looking towards FlashRay, which was a new platform. So there was no real solution. And then we discussed in the team and thought, hey, why not put fast with SSD? So then we have all the features with the SSD performance, why not do it? And we looked around and tried to find some experience where other people have done it. And there were no large-scale deployments of it. And we were so convinced that this solution will work, so we just sold it to the customer. We just sold it to the customer, and we installed it. And then we closely monitored the systems. We got the metrics to gain confidence that we did the right thing.
And we all knew they were doing it at the time. The bigger point, I think, is they were doing it in conjunction with product operations, looking and saying, this is a bleeding edge customer that is pushing the limits if you understand the application. And they're saying, we want to work with you and experiment with you because we like your feature set so much.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, the metrics were awesome. They were really great. As Joerg mentioned, the wear out was really great. So the projected lifetime is 8 years for SSD. The latency was great, and the IOPS was great, so everything is fine. So we reported back our learnings. So remember, we have 4 years of field experience with this solution. We reported it back to our engineering, and engineering used this experience to build the AFF product, which we have now. So I think this is a great example of field innovation, where we in the field have the freedom to do the things we think that's right, and to innovate things, and that we are able to feed it back to engineering, and which then leads up in a product. So I think this is really great.
Well, on behalf of our team, the NetApp team, the technical team, I know that they're proud you two are up here representing them. Our customers and our partners, thank you. Thank you for your collaboration with product operations. The all-flash FAS is doing fantastic in the market, and you two were very clearly pioneers with DWD on it. So thank you very much.
Thanks.
One of the great treats for me is coming to this event and my time here at NetApp, talking to the technical team. I've always told them that their job is not to sell. Their job is to help customers with their challenges and help them when they're trying to create opportunities. That's what we do. That's what we do. I'd like to thank Jay and Joerg, DARZ and Helpium, Holger and Lars for coming up and joining me up on stage. Let's give them another round of applause. Thank you. We have 2 more speakers for you this afternoon, but let me wrap up and summarize from my perspective. I started off by talking about the 3 ingredients that I think makes NetApp unique. The balance between what we're doing on the innovation front, the partnerships that are so important to us, and then this notion of culture. And ultimately, what we're trying to drive is great business outcomes. Now, we're not perfect, and nobody is. But we're striving every day with the goal of great customer outcomes, great business outcomes. But at a personal level for me, it's even more than that. You see, I understand it is about business, and it is about top-line growth for all of us. But in fact, this digital era has to be more than that. It has to be. It cannot be the digital era is about those that feel good about ourselves, feeling better about ourselves. That would be a mistake. We need to use this era to make those less fortunate, those in need of a very different healthcare experience, those that are being educated, and those are just far less fortunate that we are sitting in this room. We have to make their lives better. And the way that will happen is through the digital era. We will learn between joint collaborations between the private and the public sector and great businesses, such as our customers in this room, how to do things radically different. This will be a very disruptive time, and it should be. It should be. But make no mistake, the greatest disruption isn't about IT. The greatest disruption is to provide better lives for billions of people around the world. We have that opportunity. It's here in front of us right now. And it's all about data and the digital era. And my full expectation is NetApp, our partners, and our customers will lead in this area. And as we do it, we'll do it together as a team. So with that, I hope you have a great week. Thank you very much for your time today. I said earlier that I'll be joining some folks from Cisco to go over to their Center of Excellence for the Internet of Things, which Cisco's been on the forefront of. You've heard a lot about what they're up there to. We've had a great 20-year partnership. Since I've been at NetApp, we've been good partners. It wasn't until they got into a very crowded server market that I thought they were crazy doing it, that our partnership really took off. And boy, did their business take off as well with the UCS and what they're doing around that. But our partnership is far bigger than just what we're doing around FlexPod. We're doing an awful lot together. They're a big customer of ours. We're a big customer of theirs. And our stories about what we're up to and our fabric resonates an awful lot with what this next gentleman is going to talk about. I'd like to now bring up my good friend and their VP of Cloud Portfolio and Strategy, Peder Ulander. Peder? Have some fun with us.
Will do. Boy, Rob, when you told me you wanted to bring me to speak to an intimate setting of a few of your closest friends, I didn't expect it to be this big of a hall. This is fantastic. So thank you for spending the next 20 minutes with me to learn a little bit about why I'm excited about the things we're doing together with NetApp. because I do think that we're in for a big ride here over the next few years. And there's a lot of cool things that both companies are doing together to really kind of embrace what's happening in the market and enable this transition for many of our customers out there. So, as my boss would tell it, 2010, when we first launched FlexPod, there was actually a quote put out by the then CEO of HP, Leo Apotheker, where when questioned about the joint excitement that we had around our FlexPod initiative, he responded with the following: I don't see it, our sales guys don't see it, and if they are having success selling this stuff, it must be on planet Zircon. So I thought it would be fun to take a look at, with my fellow Zirconians, what's happened over the last 5 years and what we've accomplished since the launch of FlexPod. So, looking 5 years forward from that time, we've seen tremendous success in this platform. $6+ billion in revenue, 6,300 FlexPod customers, 50% of which were not customers of Cisco or NetApp, much to the chagrin of that CEO. And the big thing I think that we really focused on was not the technology innovation or the technology partnership, but it was around the Cisco Validated Design. A program designed to create solutions to address business outcomes, not just sell the bits and bytes of technology. Now, a personal story for me, 5 years ago, I wasn't part of Cisco. I was actually sitting in the audience like many of you, part of a small startup focused on enabling businesses to build, manage, and run their own cloud environments. We had built software that basically enabled any enterprise or service provider to turn themselves into an Amazon-like service. We got off to a good start, but what happened was we became partners with Cisco and NetApp and actually created a Cisco Validated Design around this new cloud architecture. The result, we became the standard platform for service providers around the globe and built some of the world's largest clouds. The exit for us, we went into Citrix and continued to build a business along them. But I can tell you, it was the vision, the integration, and the focus on business outcomes that enabled us to do what we had to go do in this. So when we look at that technology partners, one of the big things that we have is looking at the overall success around technology innovation across the board. We launched the platform 5 years ago. And then we immediately partnered with companies like Citrix and Microsoft to build desktop solutions for the enterprise. From there, we went to Red Hat and Microsoft and focused on the emerging cloud model. We took advantage of the explosion around big data, partnering with some of the leaders in that space to make sure that when customers were looking for a platform for big data, they had an integrated solution that got them running right away. But we've also done some really neat technical innovation within the platform itself. And this is actually where I'm excited with regards to where we're headed as we start to look forward. The explosion of connectivity, the exponential growth of connectivity presents a whole new level of complexity for IT and systems administrators in the data center. You want to remove the pairs of hands that go from service creation to service delivery, and you do that by automating everything. So the work that we're doing to basically automate all between NetApp and Cisco is absolutely critical as we look into this next wave of computing. We want to optimize around this new architecture. Many of the applications and services that are being consumed today have a lifespan of minutes or seconds. That's why integrating things like the all-flash FAS become absolutely critical in this next wave of enterprise computing. And then focused on the architectures, whether it's integrating around the Cisco Cloud architecture for Microsoft Azure, or what we're doing in the open source communities like OpenStack and Docker. This is what sets us ahead with regards to FlexPod, focusing on not just the business outcomes, but also the technical outcomes that our developers are excited about building towards. John Chambers has a saying, the reason why he believes that we've been successful is because we've been able to read market transitions. And we're in the middle of one of the largest market transitions in the history of computing. And it comes down to the exponential rise in connectivity in the system. Now, I want to kind of put that in perspective. Most of technology has grown from a linear perspective. What does that mean? That means that if I take 30 steps across the stage, 30 linear steps, at the end of that I will have traveled 30 meters, give or take a few inches. Now take a look at that from an exponential perspective. If I took the same 30 steps, but now it was 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. At the end of 30, I've traveled 1,000,000 meters, or 26 times around the globe. This is the level of growth that we are now experiencing from a technical perspective. Everything of value is connecting to the network. IDC today says there are about 5 billion connected devices, with 30 million devices connecting every week. Put that in that exponential growth curve, we're talking about 500 billion devices in the next 5 years. What's even scarier about that is the fact that when you look today, we're seeing 277 times the data happening at the edges of the network than in the data center. Drive that out over the next few years, we're going to see that transform into 1,000 times more data happening to the edges of the network. We're moving from a model of the data center to centers of data as we move into this new world of computing. And it's the foundation for digitization. But the problem is, today, even with just the 5 billion connected devices that we have, most of that information is not being used. All of the insights, the analytics, the decisions, the business that can be made off of the information happening is unable to be pulled into real-time data analysis. And that's just because of the data gravity and nature and the architectures that we're all working in today. This is the foundation for digital disruption. The companies who have figured out how to harness that data have started to disrupt the current markets that they're in. We did a survey together with a consulting firm up on our website that surveyed thousands of C-suite executives to talk a little bit about the coming wave of technology and what it meant for their business. Obviously, and not surprisingly, many fear digital disruption because they do believe that in their industry it is happening. Airbnb and Uber in travel and hospitality, Square in the financial services space, or even what Amazon has done to retail, they're being disrupted. But the scarier thing for the CEOs is that over half of them believe that it is an existential threat, that they will be going out of business if they don't address the coming wave of digital transformation. Now, we've seen it before. Back in the late 90s to early 2000, with the advent of the web, we saw significant disruption within the same industries that we're talking today. And at that time, it took about 7 years before we started to see businesses go out of business. The bookstores became Amazon. The financial exchanges became the E-Trades of the world. Well, the rapid acceleration of what we're seeing in the marketplace today, most CIOs are expecting their demise in the next 3 years. So there is a sense of urgency within our customers that says we have to solve for this. We have to understand how can we protect ourselves against this oncoming motion of digitization. So let me give you a more real example. Retail is probably one of the most disruptive industries as we start seeing this transformation happen. We've all done it. You go into a store, they've got the stock, they've got the real estate, they've got the personnel, and we walk through, browse the shelves, learn about the product we want, pull out our phone, look it up online, and buy it. They know that this is happening. They know that they need to transform around this. What's interesting is when they look at their data, 41% of shoppers in the store are doing exactly that. 21% are actually leaving because the product might not be in stock. 33% are leaving because they're not getting access to the information that they need from the help. They know this is happening. Unfortunately, they're seeing it days after the visit to the store in monthly averages or weekly reports. The irony is the data is actually in the store. So finding a way to pull that data together and harness it, deliver it, and analyze it in a way that enables real-time business insights is going to be absolutely critical for companies moving into the digital world. If you think about Apple and the experience that they've created, from the minute you walk into their store, they know everything about you. And as a result, they can create a more personalized service. They know you by name. As a result, more store traffic, better productivity amongst the sales folks, and ultimately, better dollars per square foot in the environment that they're in. But Apple isn't the only company that needs this stuff. Every retailer should have this. I talk about that because we actually have an integrated design that we've been working with NetApp on specifically around retail analytics and data virtualization. This is how we go and start to solve for these types of challenges. Now we have many more of these types of solutions in place, and for those of you in Berlin, we have an innovation center where you can go and actually see a lot of this stuff happening real time. So, what is the challenge and why has this become so difficult? The thing is, how we look at the way we're capturing and analyzing data out at the edges has become super challenging for businesses. We look at it actually as a 1 + 2 + 3 model. You actually have to do all three. For the classic back office stuff, traditional data warehousing is super important, but that doesn't necessarily solve for what's happening real time in your virtual worlds. Hadoop, the big data platform that we launched a couple of years ago, that focuses in on many of the virtual assets that our businesses are focusing their efforts on, especially as they moved into the cloud environment. But as we push further and further out into the edge, a new model has to happen, where we're consuming, analyzing, and understanding the data real time, not just in seconds, but in milliseconds. This is the interrupt while browsing retail model. And this is all done by having the right architecture that enables you to streamline, manage your data from the data center to the edge. So let's talk a little bit about that architecture around hyperdistribution for applications and data in a digitized world. We all know the data center, we know it really well. This is your classic flex pod running SAP, your data warehousing model. That doesn't change. We've seen businesses move into the cloud. This is a way of extending those services and become more available with new applications and services to focus on their customers. This is where we see that big data platform that we talked about. But the new push, going out to the edge, where we're seeing that exponential growth in connectivity and data, actually requires you to take the same model of automating everywhere, but then having consistent policy, security, and manageability from data center to the edge. That's why we're excited about what NetApp is doing with Data Fabric. So, what are we doing together? How are we actually solving this data problem? The best way to think about it is actually to go back and realize another market transition that happened. Back when we went from server to client server, centralized to decentralized. And I find it appropriate to tell this story because of where we are today in Berlin, because this was based off of the success of a really cool little German company. What they recognized is as we actually moved to a service-oriented architecture, what happened was the data became fragmented. Anybody with access could basically come up with their own information, and as a result, the integrity of that data went away. The business process and the decisions that the C-suite needed to make were more and more difficult because they couldn't get one single source of truth with the data that they had. And so SAP came up with the business object model style for dealing with data. The Uber application for business processes, and the rest was history. We're going through that same transition today. That distribution, though, is happening beyond the data center and actually extending all the way out into the edges. And we believe that's why the model of Cisco and NetApp work so well together. But we need to change. Cisco has been known as the router and switch company. We've done things like disrupted voice with our IP telephony or disrupted video. With FlexPod, we disrupted the data center business. This time, we have to disrupt ourselves. The rapid aggregation and analysis of data in motion and at rest means that we really have to think about what are we doing with a data platform inside of Cisco's architecture. We need to make sure that we have seamless and secure process orchestration from data center to the edge that interacts not only with devices, but with machines, people, processes, etc. The integration of everything, the sensors on the shelf, all the way back into the back office, becomes absolutely critical in your infrastructure architecture. And when you think about storage and compute moving further and further out to the edge, we need to automate everything and enable us to have the same security, policy, compliance, and manageability regardless of where that data may reside. But most important, it's about the programmability of everything. In an API economy, we've gone and opened up our iOS platform to make the network more programmable, while NetApp has focused on opening up the APIs around the data fabric to make sure that that architecture is programmable. Together, integrating solutions, working with communities, and exposing this richness to the developers is only going to advance the cause. I'll give you another example of what happens when you focus on an end-to-end architecture that actually solves all of these core needs. Now, we worked with an automotive company. I won't mention who it is, but I can tell you they were being disrupted by Tesla because Tesla has transformed a product into an experience. You want to test drive the car? You go on your phone and set up an appointment. You have update to your software, it gets downloaded overnight to your system. You deal with your supply chain management, they have full visibility into everything with regards to customers coming in, where they are in the buy cycle, and how they manage to where they can tell you down to the week when you will get your customized Tesla. That's disrupting an entire industry that the automotive industry had never seen. So we worked with a company to basically transform their product into an experience, enabling their users to engage with the company via their mobile devices or via the infotainment in the car. Enabled them to basically drive closed-loop processes between the storefronts, the manufacturing, the headquarters, and give full exposure to the entire C-suite. Ultimately, they're running their business better. But the bigger thing is what they've done for the customer. Digitization enabled them to take their entire operations and make it part of the life cycle experience for their customers. Very much like that retail example I told you about, increasing customer satisfaction, increasing efficiencies across the organization at the retail stores, and creating a tighter tie with the customers that they're trying to engage with. So, let's talk about how we go and do that. In the data center, it's all about policy-driven architectures, integrated architectures. FlexPod is there. As we extend out into the cloud and into what we call intercloud, we're actually partnering with over 450 data centers, 50 countries worldwide to deliver the same experience, the same quality, the same policy, data management. In our Cisco-powered program, FlexPod is the platform of choice, the architecture of choice for these customers. But as we get out into the edge, not only is it FlexPod, it's data fabric. It's the programmability and the manageability that enable us to do these really innovative things that help our customers transform themselves into this digital journey. So my time's almost up. I'll summarize it real quick. 5 years of successful times, a successful partnership and engagement with you, and thank you for that. Digitization is the next wave, as Rob mentioned, and it's being driven by hyperconnectivity, and that's the opportunity for us to disrupt ourselves. We believe that the network will continue to evolve. Programmability, policy, end-to-end from data center to the edge are absolutely critical in a way we connect everything. People, processes, data. And core to that is the NetApp data fabric. Management, movement, accessibility, policy, protection of data from the data center to the edge. But that's just the beginning. When we take a look at the last 5 years and everything we've done to solve for our customer needs, we're now moving into a new world, an exciting world, and I guarantee you, you haven't seen nothing yet. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Senior Vice President, Systems Engineering, Roger Anderson.
All right. Everybody, thank you for being here. You know, I think a very special thank you to our customers and partners for being here. And wanted to start with, just a little story about myself. There was probably about 21 years ago, Tom Mendoza, some people may know him, he's our current vice chairman. At the time he was running sales. And I was interviewing with Tom to work at NetApp, or Network Appliance at the time, NetApp. And Tom said, he goes, Roger, you don't get very excited, do you? I said, no, Tom, I get excited. Because I'm trying to be cool during the interview. And he said, oh, I couldn't tell. But I do get excited. And one of the things I get most excited about is this event. Insight, it's just been a tremendous event over the years. Great time. Tech teams get together, customers get together, partners get together. Great conversations happen. People learn a lot. So I really want to thank you for your dedication, energy, and your passion to be here. It's really contagious. And I also want to assure you, if this is the first time, in fact, just show of hands, first time for an Insight event. Quite a few out there. I just want to assure you that there's a tremendous effort amongst a broad population of the NetApp team and our partners to make this a special event. I really think at the end of these 3 or 4 days, you're going to be real excited, really happy that you'll be here. So I mentioned the excitement. It was really building up, leading up to this event. Inside NetApp in our partner community, part of the excitement is about getting a whole bunch of really smart people together. And the other part was about the theme for NetApp Insight this year, which is building data fabric together. Now, you heard from George Kurian on video. You heard from Rob Salmon. You also heard from Peder Ulander, who did a tremendous presentation about how we're making the data fabric real today. And I have an example I want to share. So a leading provider of real estate property valuation information wanted to establish an automated process for creating dev test instances in the Amazon cloud for accelerated services development. So kind of a mouthful, but I think you get it. They deployed NetApp Private Storage to leverage a hybrid cloud model to deliver a variety of service offerings to a global customer base of more than 10,000. The results they saw, they now are supporting double-digit growth and high demand for big data analytics. They're quickly turning data into valuable insights and eliminating potential SLA fines. And also, they're really speeding up the release of new reports in multiple formats while lowering operational costs. So they're doing data fabric today. It's real. It's working for them. We built it together. So I thought that was a good example to share. So together, we're solving real challenges. We're creating positive outcomes. But it's really going to take all of us. It's going to take NetApp. It's going to take partners. And it's going to take our customers. I can assure you, the tech teams at NetApp, we're going to master the knowledge required to build the best data fabric in the industry. We're going to collaborate with our go-to-market partners to team together to solve challenges for our customers and build, again, a great data fabric. And I mentioned customers. I consider that really, no offense to NetApp and our partners, customers are the most important component of the audience we have here today because you have customers. So you're going to learn about great technology from NetApp. You're going to hear about building data fabric. It really doesn't mean a lot unless you take this, we help you take this technology and turn it into something of value for you that you pass on to your customers. That's what really we hope to accomplish this week. So I hope you're excited about what you heard today. We switched things up a little bit this year with our general session, so it was great seeing some customers and partners on stage. Tomorrow, you're going to see a lot more. In fact, you're going to see an on-stage demo that's going to show you how you can implement Data Fabric today. You can implement this when you go back home into your job, whether you're a NetApp person, you can help a customer turn this on today. It's a fantastic demo. In fact, I really want to stress on the demo because I want to make sure that everybody in here comes to general session tomorrow and on Wednesday. And I'll tell you why. We're going to have more great presentations, but we have some can't miss demos. And they're going to be put on by some of our best experts inside NetApp, including our founder, Dave Hitz. So please make it a point to be here tomorrow and Wednesday general session. You're going to love it. All right, so it's really impossible to put on an event like this without tremendous support from sponsors. You heard Manfred in the beginning give credit to our diamond sponsor, Cisco, and you heard them up here today. Tomorrow, you'll hear about collaboration with diamond sponsor Fujitsu, and then I'll spend some time on stage with platinum sponsor VMware. Now, there's a host of other sponsors that help put this on, but I don't think there's any way to thank them enough. So if we could, one more round for the sponsors that we have. All right, so now I have one ask for you. Everybody who's in this audience, somebody paid for you to be here, right? Somebody's expecting you to come back with greater knowledge than you had and do something different. And I think the ask is for you to maximize your time here. There's a lot of ways to do that, but you should take advantage of all of them. So sure, you're going to attend the sessions. We're getting great scores on the content. You're really going to get a lot of value out of that. Please make it a point, if it fits into the scope of what you do, visit the hands-on lab. Get certified. But maybe one of the things that's not scheduled is to network with other folks. If you come here and you spend time talking to just the people you know, you're not going to get as much out of it as you could. If you just turn on your social butterfly, persona and talk to as many people as you can, ask as many questions as you can of other people. Are you guys seeing these same challenges? Hey, I solved some problems this way. Have you ever thought about this? I guarantee you that you're going to get the most out of the event that you possibly can. So I would say, please make it a point to reach out and network and make as many new acquaintances as you can. But all that has to be fun. So I think it's really important that you have fun this week. If you have fun, you're going to remember all the people that you met and everything that you learned. So, some of that's on you. I think we're going to do a lot to make sure that you have fun. So speaking of fun, we're in Germany. You may have already looked at the program for the week. So the Wednesday appreciation dinner, the theme is Oktoberfest. Makes a lot of sense. I'm sure there'll be great food, great beer, all sorts of stuff. But tonight, we're doing something a little different. So be sure to join us at the welcome reception in Inside Central, where the theme will be Carnival. And you can see it up here behind me. So it should be a lot of fun there. I don't know what's in store for us, but it looks like it'd be a good time. So come on over there, and we will see you there. We'll see you back here tomorrow for general session. In between there, have a great time, and have a great night tonight. Thank you very much.